Hello, welcome to another episode of Rantz. It's Crisandro, of course, and as you can see, I said I was going to be in Singapore, and as you can see from the background, it didn't happen. It sort of did. I mean, my last broadcast you saw, I was in Budapest on the way to Singapore, and that journey was just fraught with tons of problems. But and also, I do apologize if you can't hear too much. If you hear a lot of buzzing in the background, my house is having works done on it, so there's going to be a few bouts of noise, so I do apologise for that. But yeah, back to the Singapore trip. As you last saw, I was in Budapest, and yeah, things weren't really going right. I mean, as soon as Friday hit, I was ready to start the journey the next day. But on the way home from work, I banged my knee as I came off a bike on the gravel path. So that was sign number one. Sign number two was train strikes on the Saturday. On Friday, they said that my train was going to fly out from Luton Airport, and they said that my train was still going. As soon as it hit Saturday, a couple of hours before my journey, trains were cancelled. So I had to have a good mate come down from London to pick me up and then take me up to Luton, and that was good. Made the flight as far as Budapest as you saw, but that flight was delayed by like half an hour. But it was a good job that I was staying overnight in Budapest, and the next day was a flight from there to Abu Dhabi, which was my next stop-off point. That was delayed by about an hour. So yeah, and then as soon as I got to Abu Dhabi, my flight was then to take me to Mumbai, and that wasn't for another couple of hours. So I thought I'd enjoy a little bit of the Abu Dhabi heat, which was hot. It was nighttime. It was around about 30, 35 degrees centigrade. That was crazy. But then I went to get the ticket for my flight to Mumbai, and the clerk wouldn't let me have it because I did not have a visa to transit through Mumbai airport. Now, I wasn't told that at the time, but there it is. So I couldn't get to Mumbai from there because I didn't have a visa. They didn't really give me any help, actually, the Air India desk. So apparently friends had told me that I could have easily have got the visa within 24 hours. I could just reschedule my next flight, but I wasn't even told that. They just said I should be to their desk to get a new ticket. So when I got to the new desk and wanted to offer me a new ticket, it was a direct flight to Singapore from Abu Dhabi airport, and they quoted me 700 quid. And I just thought this trip is just fraught with issues. As I was umming and ahhing about it, whether I should do that or not, I went out of the airport to see if I could spend a night at in Abu Dhabi in the local Premier Inn. And take this as a sign. This is a really weird sign. As I walk down the main corridor, if you know Abu Dhabi Airport, then you know that when you come out the main entrance and head down the dual carriageway, there's a Premier Inn on the corner. There's like it looks like a shopping city area. And as I was walking towards that, a bird dropped out of the sky right in front of me and died. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. And I thought, right there and then, obviously this trip has just been fraught with issues from the start. And obviously I'm not meant to be in Singapore, so I thought, forget it. I could have easily just paid the 700 and flown there, but that's just more expense upon more expense. So I just checked out. I got a flight back home from there, flying out the next morning, and I came back to London. I landed back in London yesterday. Yesterday morning, I should say. But what I will say though, I've seen some brilliant airports, some cracking airports. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to fly with Qatar Airways, they are the bomb. That was a flight home from Abu Dhabi to Doha Airport. That was like a short haul flight, and that was a simple. Everything was just perfect. It was beautiful. It was just clean. It was gorgeous, lovely. But then the long haul flight from Doha to London, that was just like. And I was flying economy. I wasn't being big bollocks and flying business class or whatever. I was flying economy, but even then, that was absolutely beautiful, stylish, chilled. It was all that. And so if I was to have any other recommendations from that trip, is fly Qatar Airways. They are the bomb. They really are. and they fed me to within an inch of my life. Actually, as soon as I landed back in London early yesterday morning, I did not need any snacks whatsoever because I was full. But so that's the reason why I'm not in Singapore. I just thought, if the gods don't want me to go to Singapore, then there's no point me trying to get to Singapore. And so I came back here, and so I came back home and watched the game. Watched the game online, which was a very entertaining game. We played very well, didn't we? We were absolutely fantastic. It was similar to the West Ham game where we just put them under pressure upon pressure upon pressure, and we just did not let up. And then, just like the West Ham game, despite having the chance, well, we had one chance on target. I think we had another one that just whistled wide from Kane. They didn't take the lead. Defensive issue, of course, it should have been, but you know, before that, of course, before that, of course, well, so no, before that, I already told you what happened before that. And they scored. It was, I wouldn't say it was a defense. Well, was it defense? Yeah, kind of. Pedro Porro didn't really check behind him to see that the Lion City striker Anwar was behind him. And although it was a fortuitous touch because it looped, because I think he must have just cannoned off and looped over the keeper, Vicario, wasn't his fault. I know some people probably say it was his fault. It wasn't his fault. Caught unawares, and the ball looped right over him and into the goal. 1-0 after 13 minutes, but we just kept playing the way we were playing, and we had enough chances, really. Well, we had enough chances because we should have had, at that point, should have had 3 penalties before we went a goal down. We had 2 penalty chances. One was a handball in a chance for Kane that was wide. I want to say it was on the left. It was I want to say Madison came in and crossed the ball, and literally the ball hit his. Sorry, the Women's World Cup is also on TV there, and Ireland almost scored, and that was a clear handball. And then after that, there was a second. I can't remember what the second penalty option should have been. I want to say it was a foul on Kulusevski in the area. It was literally tripped, and the referee said no. And then after the goal, they scored a goal. There was a third penalty chance. Kulusevski literally blocked off at the edge, inside the box, and the referee waved that away. And so we had the opportunities, and if the referee was, if VAR was in this game, then definitely I'll say 2 of those would be Stonewall penalties would have been overturned. The other one would be more subjective. But I have to say that Madison did play very well, and everything was going through him. He had a couple of decent chances, all from long range, from corners that were cleared, and his passing and his movement was just so crisp. It was fantastic. And I would say that because there were 2 teams in the game, first half team and the second half team, I would say that he was the man of the match in the first half because he was on point. And well, we kept pressing and we kept pressing. Sarr had a strike, a long range strike. That was off a clearance from the corner as well. I think it was headed down. I'm trying to remember, I think from who. Can't quite recall off the top of my head. But he knocks it on. It was headed back to him. He chests it brilliantly and volleys it, and would have beaten the keeper all ends up of it. So I don't know if he had a cover. I don't think he did. Then just skimmed the crossbar and bounced out. So I was unlucky. We had the chances, I was saying, and then it was after that opportunity that we then had the penalty, a penalty that was given to us, which was it was a stonewall penalty again. This time it was on Papa Batassar, who ran onto a ball, was about to have a strike, and the defender just kicked out. It wasn't lucky. It was one of those where if you're too quick and you get the ball away, the defender doesn't see it and just comes in high foot and then tries to whack it, ends up whacking Sarr, goes down, penalty. Kane steps up, scores. I was literally right at half time. That was 1-1. And the second half, when when all 11 players were changed, it was then game on. It was fantastic. And that's when we just saw the passing and moving and the crisp football come to the fore. And yeah, this is all a case of grab my drink there. This was all a case of fitness, of course. That's what fitness are all about. But it was also a case of being, sharp in front of goal, and we saw to our detriment against West Ham that without that sharpness, we were going to be found wanting. But at the same time, we needed to tighten up in defence. I know people will say that it was Lion City Sailors, who are they, or what, or whatever. But they are doing well in the Singapore League. They're lying third in the table, 4 games to go, 5 points off the top. So they're a good side. They are a very good side, as Ireland have another chance there. Ireland currently losing 2-1 to Canada. If they lose this one, they're out, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, but we kept Lion City Sailors pinned back, and we just literally dominated really. And then the second half obviously starts, and Richarlison having 2 great opportunities, and both of them from defensive errors from Lion City Sailors. As we said, they actually didn't. They didn't really start the second half too well. The first one was an opportunity that it was kind of it presented itself to Lo Celso first off, his strike, and then it was a ricochet in the defence, which they should have had it cleared, and it bounces all the way to Richarlison, who then volleys it in, brilliant strike, and that was 2-1. And then a few moments later, another defensive error. I'm sure it was a few minutes later, about 3 minutes later. Oh, Canada almost scored there. The ball's played up in the air. Richarlison tries to back into the defender, managed to beat one. The defender behind him tries to header it back to the keeper, but the header was so weak and just loops into the air. Richarlison with the diving header makes it 3-1. Brilliant, 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 brilliant goal. And then, then we just started to get the ball rolling. We started to play our football. Perisic there had an opportunity. The shot was just wide after playing a lovely 1-2 with Lo Celso. It was fantastic football throughout there. And then, Richarlison had a couple. Richarlison had a couple of opportunities. Both great goals, I thought, but they're all ruled out by offside. I mean, there wasn't any VAR, so I couldn't really look into it, which is a shame, really, because I'm sure at the very least one of them was very dubious, if not both. But it was ruled out for offside, and that's what it is. And then, Solomon, who I would say was a man of the match of the second half, if you don't count the escapades of Richarlison scoring 2 goals, and coming on. He was just all over him. His footwork, his trickery, and his drive and his runs were brilliant. It was fantastic. He then strikes the post. There was a ball coming in from the left. I want to say it's from Richarlison, from Perisic. I'm sure it came on from the left, and he volleyed it straight into the post, and that was unlucky. That would have been a deserved 4-1 lead. But then, Canada have a chance here, and they've played away too much there. Where was I? Yeah. Solomon wasn't going to be kept down for too long because he was involved heavily in the goal for Lo Celso, where he lovely run down the right after some interesting football to get him into that position. He then cuts it back. The defender didn't really do too well in touching on. He just literally deflected into the path of Lo Celso, who I think Richarlison was coming back from offside position, so it was a good job that he dummied it. Left it to Lo Celso to score. So that was 4-1, and then we had some other great opportunities there as a shot comes in from Ireland. Reguilon, who actually played okay, steady as you can, but he had a shot from I think the corner that was headed clear, and it was around about the 35-yard line, and he just whacks at one. A great drive. It was deflected. If that deflection didn't happen, that would have gone straight into the goal. That's how good it was. But then afterwards, Richarlison scores his hat trick. It was a lovely bit of football. Emerson playing the lovely threaded ball through. It was dummied by Lo Celso, and the ball goes on to Richarlison, who with great strength and keeps the defender off his back. Then suddenly chips over the advancing keeper to make it 5-1. The pigeon dance came out. It was all there, man. It was all good. And yeah, that was 5, and that was done and dusted. That was literally the final action of the game. So you have to say, yeah. So you have to say that well, that was good. That was good football. I mean, that was kind of the game that we needed really to try and get ourselves back into it. Because now we had because after the Leicester game was cancelled, which I reported when I was in Budapest. After that Leicester game was cancelled, it now means that we only played 2 games in pre-season, and our next game isn't for another 17, for another yeah, another 10 days, I think. Yeah, 10, 11 days. The 6th of August when we take on Shakhtar Donetsk in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So I'll be definitely going to that one. There'll be no plane journeys for me on that one, so I'll be definitely there for that. But for today, everything that I would say that everything did come together against West Ham was just those defensive issues which kind of scuppered us really. And although I mean the defense looked a lot more uh, tidy today, I would say, and did very very well. I would say they did very very well. Other than the obviously the goal that they conceded, but this time they kept with their runners. They showed the players you know down the line as opposed to standing off them and letting them do what they need to do like they did for the goal almost. Um, so there's tiny bits of improvement there for the defence, and long may that continue because we need it. We need all we can get. And yeah, and then we were clinical. We took our chances. I mean, I think we still had around about 30, 31 shots in the game, and we scored 5 goals. So that shows that we are doing we are pressing teams. We're doing to teams what Moneybag City have been doing to teams for the last few seasons now, and it is good to see. I mean, that's a kind of that's a kind of like dominating football that can win you games, and if you play your cards right, can win you titles. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm going to win the title next season or this season, I should say, because it is this season now. But it is good to see that we are laying down the groundwork for that kind of impressive kind of run that will help get us to that position. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I'm very happy with the team today, and yeah, long may it continue. So in 11 days' time, where we take on Shakhtar Donetsk, hopefully we get a good run out there as well. So a good run out. Sorry, in the meantime, gutted that I wasn't there in the national stadium in Singapore to see that, but it is what it was, and I'm just happy I got to see some very good football in the end. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of the game, how we thought you play. Looks like Ireland are going out of the World Cup. There's 2 minutes injury time left, and they're still trailing by 2 goals to 1. But yeah, at least the Spurs men they're kind of up and running right now after that undeserved defeat against West Ham. I would say we're now kind of showing our true worth against Lion City Sailors. We shall see what happens, but definitely be there for the Shakhtar Donetsk match. So hopefully I shall see you there. And well, like I said, let us know in the comments what you think and how you think we played. And do you agree with my man of the matches for the 2 teams? In the first half, I'll say it was James Maddison, and the second half, I would say it was Manuel Solomon. It was toss up between Solomon and Richarlison, really, but Solomon was just busy and was all over the place. So so yeah, that'll be my man of the match for both halves. Really, let me know what you think, and yeah, fantastic. A 5-1 win, nothing to be sneezed at. Did very well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and come on, you Spurs, and you all take care. See you soon.